Hello, 你好, welcome back. In this lesson, we'll learn the first and second tone in Mandarin Chinese. In my years of teaching Chinese, I've seen how tones have a really bad reputation. People tend to find tones really intimidating and difficult to learn because they believe English doesn't have tones. Well, I can tell you this. That is absolutely not true. Not only does English have tones, but you can actually find commonly used English equivalents for all of the Chinese tones. For example, when you say what, you're speaking with a Chinese second tone. And when you say no, you're speaking with a Chinese fourth tone. Your voice is used to making these inflections already. So to help you learn the Chinese tones quickly and easily, I'm going to help you become aware of how and when you already use tones, and then help you apply those in a new way. Before we start learning the tones, we first need to identify your normal speaking voice range. Also, it's important for you to understand that everyone's voice range is different. So if you have a deep voice, then my high tone will be much higher than yours, and your low tone will be much lower than mine. You don't need to match my tone exactly as if it were a musical note. You just need to identify what is high and what is low for you and your voice range. And it's all relative. All right, so first let's find the upper range of our speaking voice. Let's pretend that a friend asks you if you can help him move this weekend. Now you say to him, maybe, maybe. If you say maybe, may with a high voice, then that's probably the highest point of your normal speaking voice range. Please say it a few times. Maybe. Good. Now let's find the lower ranges of your speaking voice. Let's say that someone asks you a random question that catches you completely off guard. And maybe somebody asks you what you had for lunch yesterday. You have to think about it for a minute, so you say, If you say, with a low voice, then that's probably the lowest point of your normal speaking voice range. If your voice even cracks or wavers a little bit, then you know you've hit that low spot. So please say it a few times. Great, now you know your own range from high to low. Maybe to Okay, great. So now let's look at this chart. The numbers on the left represent your voice range, with 1 being the lowest point, like in and with 5 being the highest point, like in maybe. So whatever you say is within that range. We use this chart to represent the 4 tones too. First tone looks like this. It's a high and flat tone, pretty much exactly like the may part of the maybe. It doesn't go up or down. You just go to the high part of your voice range and hold it for a second. Maybe. Let's practice the first tone using the may part of maybe. Say it after me. May. May. Good. That's the first tone. In Pinyin, a first tone is represented by a flat line over a vowel, like in the syllables ta and he. Now let's learn about the second tone. This is what the second tone looks like on the chart. You start in the middle of your voice and go up. It's a rising tone. You already use this tone in English too. Let's say someone just told you something really crazy, like, I just had coffee with Tom Hanks. You might say, what? Please say it with me just like that. What? Can you feel your voice going up as you say them? Well, that's the second tone. What? It sounds like a question word in English. What? It's a rising tone. Please practice a few times. What? Good. That's the second tone. In Pinyin, a second tone is represented by a rising accent mark over a vowel, like in the syllables ma and wu. The tone mark for the second tone also looks consistent with the actual tone. The tone mark is a little line that goes up, and the second tone is a rising tone. So now you already know about the first and second tone and their English equivalents. Well, you got those within what, like 3 minutes? So the trick to learning to pronounce tones correctly is to really drill this in your mind. Each time you think about a tone in Chinese, first think about the associated English word with it, and then you'll get the tones out correctly. So if you see the syllable TA with the first tone mark, then before you pronounce it, first think maybe, may. Then with the same tone of voice, say ta, may, ta. Or if you see the syllable MA with the second tone mark, then before you pronounce it, first think what? Then with the same tone of voice, say ma. All right, great job. You've already got 2 tones under your belt. And the best news is the other tones are just as easy. All right, 再见。